We are telling the circle of the stories.
The Wednesday's Quilters by Gary Wittmann, April 10th, 2006, all rights reserved. Every Wednesday at lunchtime, they come into our school lunchroom with their canes and walkers to move across the wooden floor. They ate the same meal at the same wooden tables with our names scratched on them. I even found my dad's name on one table. Afterwards, they gathered in the music room and began to pull the closet long frames and sawhorses. They began clamping bolts and moving chairs, getting thread and needles in their wrinkled hands. The women would set 3 to a side unless more had showed up that day, and work on the quilts for 3 hours. There would be 3 women sitting on each telling stories, memories of some time in their life, and told probably again and again over many weeks, and yet they laughed with each other. They were on a mission to make quilts for the Christmas fair for the church. And at 3 o'clock school was done, and I would run down the hallway to the music room, and the old ladies looked up and smiled, and I walked over to my grandma, giving her a hug and asking her, "Are you ready to walk home from the Lutheran church school?" We took the 2.5 blocks of walking home, a hug for walking home with her, knowing I could have been home in half of that time. But then again, I would have missed our chats. In the evening, from my bedroom window, I checked on my grandparents. Grandpa was watching television, Grandma sitting next to a new quilt she was sewing with the patches of our old, worn-out clothes. Sometimes I would come over and sew with her, and she would tell stories to me, but the true stories are in the quilts. She would point to this fabric and say, "This was a piece of Grandpa's pants. This was a piece of my old shirt. This piece from my old wedding dress." Near the end of her life, the light were fading from her eyes, but she was determined to get 3 quilts done for the grandchildren, Cindy, Christopher, and me. I still have that quilt. I still feel like I can smell the freshness when she first gave it to me. You can see the dark lines on it because her blindness was coming quicker than she realized. She used a black marker to see where she sewed. I have memories of her quilt and the memories of the ladies on the Wednesday afternoon who then sewed quilts to the Christmas fair every December. Snow floating down the street, but the quilts hung in the gym during the fair. Summer sun, the quilts hung on the clothesline, moving from the breeze. The wind helped to bring the memories back. As I took off the quilt from the line, I smelled the freshness one more time, and my mind drifted back to over 45 years. Pattern of our life sewn into the quilts.